Welcome to the Motivation Without the Hype podcast with your host, Gez Perez. He's an author, high-performance coach, and motivational speaker. This show brings you inspiring messages and interviews to unleash your greatness in life and in business. So let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome to Motivation Without the Hype podcast show. My name is Gez Perez, a former procrastinator into an action taker. We bring you inspirational messages and interviews, including motivational insights, tips, principles, and proven strategies that you can take action without the hype in unleashing your greatness in life and in business. Now, we appreciate you plugging in and spending time with us. And we have a very special guest, and I'm super grateful to have her on our show. Now, her name is Ingrid Galloway. She is the founder, relationship coach, and chief relaxation officer. Guys, take note, chief relaxation officer of, how do we pronounce this, Kahyangan?
Kahyangan, correct.
Yes! Guys, I got that right. Yes.
Nailed it.
Now, she's been a relationship coach for 12 years and a spa therapist for 22 years. Now, her work has always focused on stress, relaxation, and relationships, and she completely understands the importance of healing from past traumas and strengthening relationships with self and intimate partner. Now, she does one-on-one coaching sessions, group workshops, women's circles, group online couples massage lessons, and retreats for stressed people, broken-hearted singles, and loving couples as well. Ingrid, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm very excited.
I'm really excited too, by the way. And guys, I've experienced the massage session with Ingrid. And let me tell you guys, she is amazing. Like 10 out of 10. Now, if you live in Sydney area, Southwest, definitely check on the show notes. I know I'm going a bit advanced here, but you do need to get connected with her. She is amazing. So, Ingrid, to those who don't know you yet, please tell us about yourself and what you do.
Yes, certainly. So as you mentioned, I am a relationship coach. I've been doing this for 12 years and chief relaxation officer. I've been doing this for 22 years. The reason why I call myself chief relaxation officer, because I literally make thousands of people relax. And I believe that my superpower is actually making people relax in a short period of time. I can't fly. I can't disappear. But my superpower, I believe, is to make people relax in a very quick amount of time. Yes.
I know that. And your superpowers do work on me, by the way. So I really had to get you onto the show. And my wife, Hannah. And we're both fans of Ingrid. And I just can't wait to. It's just amazing. And Ingrid, thank you so much. I mean, you said that you've been, as a relationship coach for 12 years, a therapist for 22. That's really great experience along the way. And I know that you've got a lot of experiences, and it's been a journey for you. Can you tell us a bit about, you're all about building healthy relationships.
Yeah.
How do we actually do that?
Yes. So I will give you 3 tips about that particular question. Number 1, I feel that you need to know and love yourself. So know your self-worth. If you're lacking self-esteem, then if you're in a relationship, you can be, there's a dynamic in relationship. You can be the underdog and your partner can be the overdog. And you will end up with resentment because the relationship is not healthy. It's not balanced. So you want to be, balanced. So this in the same sort of platform, not one underdog and one overdog. And number 2 is know what kind of people that you want to surround yourself with. Now, I believe you truly believe in this. I mean, you love networking. I love networking. I go to networking actually because I love people so much. I tap into other people's energy. So when I am feeling down, then by being with other people, they can lift my energy up. I give you a secret that I actually suffer from mental health challenges because, I've been married for 10 years before and it was an abusive relationship. So I end up with depression, anxiety, all the juicy stuff. Now, how and I particularly, try not to heal myself with antidepressant. Not that antidepressant doesn't have a place in in healing world somewhere, right? But I just chose, if I can use something else, then I will. So then I did. I went networking. It's one of my few tools to heal myself because I tap into people's energy so they can raise me up. So I that's my drug.
So how did obviously it didn't take you like overnight. How
No,
did
no,
you
no.
how did you build that to get courage? Because there are maybe some people who are listening right now
Yeah.
through this podcast that may experience potentially maybe similar to your journey, maybe not the same scenario,
Yeah.
and people want to quick fix. But for you, you kind of like, can you just share a bit of that for a moment and how people can actually overcome this and really trust and love themselves, like you said before?
Yes. So back in my first marriage, I was actually not being accepted for who I am. So my ex-husband tried to over control me, etc. I mean, I did some big mistakes, obviously, and because of that, I felt shameful. I felt guilty, and that kind of like throw the balance between. I did mention the underdog and overdog thing. So I didn't know how to love myself. I didn't know my self worth, and therefore, whatever he when he tried to control me, then I kind of like minimize myself, which is not very very healthy. But then when I decided to leave that relationship after 3 attempts, then my soul need to come out. I just couldn't help myself because my true self is here. I lost everything. I lost my material, house, apartment, furniture, everything. But I got myself, and that is the most essential ingredient that I have. My mom thought that, oh, Ingrid, you lost everything. But no, mom, I got myself. And that's the most important thing.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, right? Because people tend to think about the external things of what they've lost,
Yes.
but don't really focus on the internal, right? And you've hit that spot on. Like, yeah, you rescued yourself, right?
Yes.
You were held with, I would say, in bondage where you couldn't grow, you couldn't live freely, but now you've been set free. It's like, yeah, I'm living my own life now, my own terms, where I
Yeah.
know that I'm destined to live. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And number three would be to show up and follow up. So if you want to build a relationship, for example, you need to show up and follow up. Otherwise, your relationship will not go anywhere. This is but a particular tip if you are single and you want to embrace, dating other people. If you don't put yourself out there and you don't follow up, you will end up with no one, right? So get courage.
I think that's really important, right? Is you need to show up, but then you have to follow up. I think not many people like to follow up because they already have this certain ideas that it's not going to work out. But you just need to keep on going, and I love that. Show up and follow up. Now, in any relationship, as you know, as a relationship coach, trust is one of the most important ingredient
Yeah.
in a relationship. Now, being trust, has a foundation of relationships. What would be the challenges around that may not have any trust? How do we
Mm.
build that? How do we build that bridge, particularly with people who kind of have mistrust in their relationship?
Yeah, so there are two parts of losing trust, right? Number one, if you've been hurt by someone, like you're the victim, so you lost your trust, my suggestion would be to learn how to let go of your baggage. When you're hurting, you're angry, and anger actually can kill healthy cells in your body. And darling, you don't deserve that. So the best thing is to let go. I know it may take some time. However, the best thing is to let go because you don't deserve all that anger that will kill your healthy cells. I mean, now, secondly, if you are the person who hurt someone and you would like to build trust, you
Yes,
need
yeah.
to prove yourself. Don't just say things and not to do it, like, oh, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, but then you do it again, so are you really sorry? That's my question. For example, if you cheated on your partner in the past, yeah, for example, prove to him or her that the other person is no longer in your life, and now your focus is on your partner only.
So I know with trust, it's a big thing. Like I know for myself as well, like our relationship with Hannah,
Yeah,
trust is one of the biggest things.
yeah,
Now, whether it's the opposite sex, not for us, but maybe in some other couples who may have, because you can feel it, right? And sometimes if you're the person who made that mistrust to another partner, sometimes they also feel like they're also a victim, because they probably experienced some past. But it's certain behaviors.
yeah.
How would you identify that for them to get their breakthrough as well? Because they probably have some baggages. And you mentioned real key moments where you say, but they come back to it, but then they need to deal with it. Do you find that it's really challenging and hard to deal with issues like this?
Yeah, I guess if I can tap into, because dealing with what you're saying, if I may tap into guilt and shame, right? Now, guilt and shame, people don't normally like to talk about because it's the shadow sort of energy, right? Now, shame is one of the great unspoken words in the world. It's about feeling wrong, you're not good enough, you feel numb, sorry, you want to hide, you want to disappear, you want to cease to exist, and that is actually the root of violence, addiction, aggression, eating disorders, suicide, bullying. Sometimes you may not realize it, but shame is alive and well under your shiny, oh, everything's fine. No, no, we're fine. Everything's fine surface of many of us, right? So on the surface, you may appear, oh, everything fine, like the Instagram influencer. Everything's shiny. But who knows, like behind that shop front,
Yeah.
then they may experience shame. And now we move on to guilt. Guilt is different. So if you can understand this statement, right? I am not a stupid serial cheater, but by cheating on my partner last month, that was stupid. You see, the understanding of the meaning of guilt versus shame is very important. You know, you did a bad thing, all right? So you feel shameful, but you are not a bad person. So if you can differentiate between the guilt and shame, guilt versus shame, right? So, and believe me, humiliation, shame and humiliation can destroy us. So work, with professional, ask for help to actually remove this shame, because this shame may not appear in just this relationship currently, but we carry it from childhood. We can carry it from childhood and guilt as well. So be careful of that. What you carry throughout your childhood to your relationship right now can affect greatly the dynamic in your relationship.
If you know that you've got guilt and shame, but you don't profess it,
Yeah.
how does someone deal with it and really break through it? Because it's something that people don't talk about, like you said. So if someone is
Mm-hmm.
actually experiencing this as they listen to this podcast, what is your practical tips that they can get started
Yeah.
to get healing, or to really go through the process to
Mm-hmm.
really really unpack this guilt and shame, that they can actually really live in freedom?
Yes. So I do suggest regular check-in to get to know your partner in a deeper, more meaningful way. And to be able to create intimacy, and I mean intimacy, I'm not just saying in terms of making love, having sex. No, uh, to create intimacy, which is like a close, really meaningful bond with your partner, you need to expose yourself to your partner, and you need to be able to take that risk of rejection and invalidation. All right, so being vulnerable is very, very key, because this leave you to being open to feeling shame, as you are actually looking to be seen, to be understood, to be respected, to be loved. And this fear of shame can keep you from seeking the intimate connection that you crave and even prevent you from surrendering fully to pleasure. Because, well, everyone deserves pleasure. I do
Yeah.
believe that. Yes. So be careful on this one. Regular
Yeah.
check in and being vulnerable
Verbal.
is key, I believe.
Fantastic. Now, Sakura, I can't pronounce it, but Sakura
Oh,
chakra.
sacral chakra.
Yes. For someone who may not know this or doesn't have a better understanding, can you
Yes.
share your insights and how do we find balance that influences a balanced life that you always talk about?
Yes. So, because I'm actually in the middle of writing a book,
Yeah.
co-authoring
Awesome.
with yeah, I know, co-authoring with six other ladies, and we covered the seven chakras, and I was assigned to deal with the sacral chakra, which is let me explain a little bit more about chakra. Chakras are the circular vortexes of energy that are placed in seven different points on the spinal column. Now, these chakras are responsible for disturbing the life energy. You probably familiar with the term chi or ki or prana. Yeah, so it's vital life energy, and it can be disturbed if these chakras are not balanced. Now, the sacral chakra is the second chakra that we have. It is located under the belly button and above our genitals. So, this particular thing is responsible for our creativity, emotions, and sensuality. And some of the symptoms that you can feel or you can see is feeling insecure or having low self esteem. We've been talking about low self esteem before, or feeling overly ambitious. You can experience sexual repression or sexual addiction. So, the two different extremes, right? And my tips, if you like to know, a couple of tips to balance your sacral chakra. That's why you can, balance your life as well and balance your relationship. For example, number one, you can soak your feet in a foot spa, warm water, some sprinkles of orange and ylang ylang essential oils. And then you can sit with your spine back straight but relax. Breathe in the aroma from your foot spa deeply and hold a couple of crystals in your hand, such as carnelian. This is carnelian and this is citrine. And breathe out slowly. So be present, let go of the various thoughts and worries. Focus your attention on your sacral chakra and its orange color for 3 to 5 minutes. So this particular chakra has its own color orange. And then lastly, you can recite some sacral chakra affirmations. Now, I believe that you understand the power of affirmations, right? This particular one, you can say, I honor my body. I honor and express my sexuality. I welcome happy and fulfilling relationships into my life. I gratefully accept pleasure and abundance. I feel peace. So you can create your own affirmations. The I feel something, it's about the feeling. Yeah. So those are my tips.
Ingrid. Now, for someone who may be stuck, I know
Yeah.
that you've already mentioned so many tips, and thank you so much for adding so much value. But for someone who's currently stuck, how do they get unstuck to find that balance? Would it be everything else that you just mentioned today in this segment?
Yes, and let me give you an example, right? A real life example. Now, last night I was the resident love doctor for this. I love the title, a resident love doctor,
The
for
love
this,
doctor.
for this online gathering of a group of singles, right? One said, "So, what were you up to this whole week?" And then he said, nothing. So he didn't want to share more because he feels like life in lockdown is very boring. So obviously he was feeling stuck. Now, I suggested to him in front of the group, rather than losing hope, during lockdown, there's no point of connecting or prospecting for a date after lockdown, like what he could do, I said, he could ask open ended questions and discovering the potential date. Her interest, right? Discuss your values, both of your values. So then, when you are able to meet again, because Believe me, lockdown doesn't last forever. I mean, it's been a long time. I know it's like just keep extended, but it doesn't. And a lifetime, you already have built a deep and meaningful relationship, from discovering interests and values and whatnot. So rather than say, "Oh, what are you up to this week?" Nothing.
So, Ingrid, I always ask this question to every guest that's on the show.
Yeah.
What is your meaning of motivation without the hype? And how
Yeah.
do how do you use motivation for your personal success?
Sure. So rather than use the word motivation, I like to use the word inspiration, right? It's just me. By knowing my top values, so I previously worked out my hierarchy of values, which are my work, relationship, which is my husband and my tribe, because I love people, and home. So those are my top three. And my passions, which are therapy, food, and music. I can tap into my source of inspiration. All of the above are my source of inspiration. I can tap on it anytime, whenever, when I'm in the funk, especially, right? So last week I was in the funk for a reason, right? And then I connected with my spa music first to calm myself down. And then I made jewelry like this one, like this
Yeah, it looks
one.
nice.
Yeah,
Love it.
thank you. Which was my therapy to heal myself after my divorce 15 years ago. So to me, there's no hype. I just tap into my source of inspiration for success.
Wow, I like it. Yeah, that's amazing. Now, thank you so much, Ingrid. That's been awesome. Like, I've learned so much. Like, literally, I've learned so much in this segment
Thank
alone.
you.
So many awesome tips. You really
Yeah,
brought
thank
the
you for a
balance, which
great
is
question.
yeah, you
Yeah,
brought the balance,
excellent.
which is fantastic. And guys, for more information, if you want to get in touch with Ingrid, all the information is listed on the show notes. So it's got everything there. So if you want to get in touch with Ingrid and get to know her more, all the links are there provided for you. Cool. So if this episode has been helpful and uplifting, we would love for you to write a review to inspire more listeners to get plugged in. We will continue to provide high value content in each and every episode. Now, if you don't mind sharing this podcast show on social media by inviting others, it will mean the world to me. Every time you tag me, we will get the opportunity to share those posts, and together we can make a difference in the lives of others through inspiration episodes just like this. So there you have it. In closing, continue to unleash your greatness and tell yourself that I can, I will, and I must, and we'll see you on the next episode.